Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Wanna play?
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
They're here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Zach and I'm here with Jared, the Meania to my Lawrence Talbot.
What the hell does that mean?
That was a Wolfman reference.
Oh, am I the Wolfman?
No, you're the gypsy.
Okay, I mean,
Meania.
interesting.
She's a sassy lady.
I am a sassy man.
It was just a Halloween one I could think of off the top of my head.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like it.
But we're back once again for another Halloween-filled episode.
Am I the victor to your Igor?
No, we could do that one. That'd be fine.
Yeah, see? Halloween.
Of course, Igor first appearing in Son of Frankenstein, the third movie, the franchise, played by Bela Lugosi, and the son of Victor being played by, what's his name? Basil?
Basil Exposition?
Sure.
Okay.
Something. I forgot. I can't remember everything.
That's okay. I don't expect you to
Look, I
remember
got a
everything.
range of interests, and I can't be 100% on top of everything at every second.
Yeah, I understand. Your mind is elsewhere tonight.
Rathbone? I think.
That sounds like a name that would work.
Yeah, we're recording this as we are starting recording. The NBA season is kicking off, so
Well, technically, they kicked off Tuesday night.
Who cared about those games?
The fans of those teams?
I suppose. Well, Zion's out, so even like their opener with the Pelicans, Zion's out till Christmas.
That'd be a great Christmas present.
He's gone. So I'm like, oh boy, the Pelicans and the Raptors. So the Raptors without Kawhi and the Pelicans without Zion. Gosh, what a game!
I feel like we're jumping ahead to Jared's Sports
Resorts?
What the Jared Sports Reports?
That's your new business venture, Jared Sports Resorts.
You know what? Come on down. Have a good time. You'll love to play with our balls.
Great.
I just came up with that slogan right there.
It's a terrible slogan.
I think it's you won't forget it.
This weekend, if you want to find me on Sunday, I'll be at the Portland Comic Expo. I'm there every year. It's a surprisingly packed show. It's very good if you are a collector or a buyer.
Good.
It's not there are some comics people there and some celebrities, but it definitely seems to be a buyer's kind of show.
There you go. So go down, visit Zach, buy, sell, trade, barter.
I'm not big on buying at shows. I hate when people are like, what do you want for this? I'm like, I don't want to spend money here. I just want to make money. Unless it's, something like spectacular, but it's almost never been something spectacular.
You never know.
It could be. If you got something crazy, bring it on down.
Or could you say spooktacular because it is Halloween season?
I could, but
All right.
only if it's Halloween based.
All right, there we go.
All right. So you got anything?
I'm 35 now.
Oh, that's right. You had a birthday.
I did, yes.
Halfway to 70.
That's correct. You're good at math. Well, you made me dinner this week.
Do you just want to scream into your hands, what am I doing with my life?
I mean, I wanted to do that at 34, so it's not like it's a new thing.
Oh, God.
It wasn't like I just woke up on my birthday and was like, what am I doing with my life?
I realized this 14 years ago.
I realized this 200 episodes ago.
So, what we're going to do this week, we're going to do the pop culture news, all that there is, some sports reports, this week in comics history, and then a spooky tale of the week and your questions. So let's kick all of that off, kick it right in the Halloween butt with a little bit of comics news, or pop culture news, whatever.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Oh man, this week was hot.
What was it now?
Hot, with trailers.
In fuego.
And of course, the hottest trailer you could ever ask for, the biggest. Oh man, the fans have been clabbering for this one.
Deadshot.
Look, yeah, the joke was it was the Bloodshot one.
Oh, sorry. Bloodshot.
Because we're not going to see this because, boy, this looks generic.
Yes. It looks like
so generic.
It looks like Vin Diesel meets the Running Man meets, why can't I think of the one? Eraser?
Why the Running Man?
I don't know. I meant Eraser. More like Vin Diesel.
Why
meets
Eraser?
Total Recall. How about that?
I'll go with that one.
Consider it a divorce. Get your ass to Mars.
That's when his face blows up.
Yes.
Good movie, though. I like that movie a lot. Yeah, Bloodshot had its first trailer, The Valiant Universe's I think their first attempt at a cinematic movie with Vin Diesel as the titular Bloodshot. And
Isn't the phrase cinematic movie kind of redundant?
I guess it could be a boring movie.
Or, like TV movie, I guess. There you go. So,
yeah, this movie doesn't look interesting at all. We're not going to see it for the show. I have no intention of red boxing it. It looks incredibly unexceptional.
yeah, it looks generic. Vin Diesel's going to beat a lot of people up, and he's invincible.
He doesn't really look like the character. Like, the character is like a pasty, like the white you would kind of paint a wall if you were going to paint it with something else.
Oh, like a cream?
Yeah. And he has a big red circle in his middle. He doesn't look like that. He just looks like Vin Diesel. It looks dull. I'm uninterested. I'm not going to see it.
There you go.
But of course, the actual real trailer that people cared about, not just the 3 valiant fans that are left. But Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker had its supposed last trailer during the world's most boring football game.
No, I've seen more boring football games. It was just... Did you like my tweet about the only thing the Jets were stopping was people from seeing this Rise of the Skywalker trailer?
Oh, God, that game was depressing.
My Twitter game was on fire that night.
Absolute trouncing.
Yeah, I know. I destroyed Twitter. You're 100% correct. Nobody has owned Twitter like that since I don't know when.
General reactions to this. I know there are some Easter eggs tucked away in there that are like, there's a bunch of ships from like Star Wars Rebels and things you might have seen in different iterations.
Like running across a Star Destroyer?
And I saw one thing, and it kind of pissed me off. I didn't mean to see it, but there are some leaks out there about what this movie is. And I came across one of them in reference to this trailer. I was like, son of a bitch.
Don't ruin it.
I'm not going to repeat it here, but I would say just watch the trailer and don't dive deeper because there are leaks. And it was unfortunate to see.
Oh, well, there you go.
I did see stuff like the Ralph McQuarrie design for the Emperor's Throne.
That was pretty badass looking.
I think the most interesting shot for me is we get, speaking of that throne, kind of over the shoulder shot of it. We see Rey standing in front of it, but because there is a question of how is the Emperor coming back? Is he just going to be a recording? Is he going to be some kind of force projection? Is he going to be a clone? Is he going to be inside a robot? We do get a figure sitting in that throne with like cloth in full form. That's, that whole Jedi or Sith way of just wearing a robe with a hood.
Yeah.
The original hoodies.
It was interesting. It's saying the saga, this is the end. This is going to finish the mainline story.
And they're wrapping things up. It's supposed to wrap up all 9, and by 9, I mean 11 movies.
But the 9 main Skywalker, this is the end of the Skywalker arc.
Supposedly. I did think it was a little strange that they took a beat in the middle for C-3PO.
Do you think he's dying, or do you think I saw one person suggested that it's like a recording from Princess Leia?
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think we're gonna kill any of the human cast this movie.
So C-3PO is
because I think there's been enough of a backlash around Han and Luke, and also the real life death of Carrie Fisher. So I'm expecting Leia and Lando to live. But I think 3PO is probably he's on the chopping block.
Well,
would be my guess.
Anthony Daniels though, all 9 movies, impressive.
Plus Rogue One.
Yeah, so that's 10.
Yeah. Plus Star Tours, the Disney ride.
Oh, yes.
And a million other things. I don't know. The trailer obviously doesn't get me any more excited than I was for the movie. It certainly didn't up that for me.
I like that it didn't really give anything away either.
I wasn't like, oh my God, Star Wars. I forgot that existed.
I like that there was no dialogue. It was just...
Except for the 3PO scene, which is weird. That's why it's a weird sticking point.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm about to commit suicide and I'm looking at all of my friends one last time. Kevorkian, take it away.
Wow, you're really crass tonight.
I think it's what he's doing. I think he's killing himself.
But for what end?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, well, I think he's sacrificing himself.
So that'd be killing.
Yeah, but it sounds better when you say you're sacrificing yourself.
Okay, not when you're Dr. Death in it?
Yeah, he's not like ending his pain. He's not trying to have death with dignity. He's like death with purpose.
If he was ending his pain, he would have done it after episode 2 with all those terrible lines.
Oh, my gosh.
No, he was beside himself.
Don't even.
What a terrible movie.
Don't even.
Low point of Star Wars.
What a drag.
Oh, God. I guess, okay, of main movies, I'm sure, you're right. There's worse stuff in comics and books and Caravan of Courage.
Yes.
Terrible, terrible TV movie. Remember we did that one time? It took us like 2 years, but we did it. We got there. It wasn't good.
No, it was very forgettable.
I'm about to start my Star Wars rewatch.
Oh.
Well, because Mandalorian's out in like 3-4 weeks or something like that.
So you should probably get on that.
So I'm going to do the first 6 plus Solo and Rogue One. Then I'll do the Mandalorian, which I know the Mandalorian isn't going to be done by the time 9 comes out, but, you know, I'll squeeze in those last 2 movies like right before. But yeah, it's just about time to start my Star Wars rewatch.
Fired up.
I will. It's over there. It's on Blu-ray.
I see that,
It
yeah.
says the complete series or something.
It's not complete if it's missing a movie.
It sure as ain't complete anymore.
There you go.
It was when I bought it. It says the complete saga. Don't at me.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't
I
want
can't
to.
see. It's a fine print.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let it go.
It's the finest of prints.
It's always
Whatever.
the fine print that gets you.
Movie looks good. Hey, you know who wanted to get the Joker movie canceled?
Jared Leto?
Exactly, Jared Leto.
Yes.
He went through his film contacts. He went through his music contacts. He's like, an Oscar-winning actor from Dallas Buyers Club, I'm not getting the respect I deserve. This movie should not happen, as Warner Brothers has dangled a Joker movie in front of me for the past 2 years. Well, I'm going to say he's not going to play the Joker anymore. But he felt so personally offended. He went out of his way to try, it's well on record at this point that I do not like the Joker movie.
Yes.
I do think it's silly to be trying to
Sabotage it and.
well, just to stop the studio machine. He's like, hey, this is a potential massive thing. I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah. I'm going to go rogue.
Good luck 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever crappy band you're a part of.
Oh, wow.
Is that the one he's a part
I
of?
don't know. I will fact check the show for you.
I don't care. He's part of some crap band that I could care less about.
Jared Leto band. He is in 30 Seconds to Mars.
Ah, got it.
There you go.
Hey, let me tell you about that one huge 30 Seconds to Mars song. Don't remember.
The Kill.
I don't even know what that is. That means nothing to me.
Oh.
I actually don't remember because it's, a bland band. You're the worst part of Blade Runner 2049, and I can't wait to not watch your Morbius movie. Oh, this song?
Yes.
Oh, don't play it for too long. That's a terrible song.
There you go. I reminded you of the good times.
Whatever, loser. Maybe don't send used condoms to people.
Yes.
Speaking of Batman movies, bunch of casting this week. Casting and uncasting.
Tell me more.
Jonah Hill has passed on The Batman. Rumor has it that he was going to be up for The Penguin. Speaking of Oscar winners.
Yes.
He won for Moneyball? He won for something.
It wasn't Moneyball, I don't believe, though.
But yeah, so he passed, but we did get some other casting, one of which I think sounds really good, and one of which I'm indifferent to because I don't really know the actress.
Okay.
Paul Dano has been cast as the Riddler.
Yes.
Batman's going to drink his milkshake.
Just slurp it up.
I think that's great casting. He looks the part. I think he's going to be... The Riddler is a guy you got to play as smart.
Edward Nygma.
I've said it many, many times. I think the hardest thing for an actor to play is smart. But I think he's got the chops to play smart and kind of arrogant and swarmy, and he looks like the Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
That's good casting. And then Zoe Kravitz was cast as Catwoman,
Zoe Kravitz.
daughter of...
Lenny.
Yes, of course, Lenny Kravitz and... Oh boy, I'm blanking on the name. Girl that was
Macy
in
Gray.
High Fidelity / The Cosby Show.
Oh, not Felicia Rashad. Who is...
I feel like I've given enough information.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Who is Lenny Kravitz married to? Lisa Bonet.
That's the one.
Yes. There you go.
To be honest, I haven't really seen her in much. She was in Mad Max Fury Road, but it's a relatively non-dialogued part, so I don't really know what she's going to bring to the table, but...
Her name now is Liloki Moon. Oh, she's no longer married to Lenny Kravitz, though.
Oh, all right.
They divorced tonight. She's actually married to Jason Momoa.
Oh. Okay, good for her.
Good for her.
But yeah, Zoe Kravitz I know next to nothing about, so I don't really have an opinion on this one.
She was born in 1988.
We're the same age. She is far more successful than I.
Well, I mean, considering that her stepfather is Jason Momoa
And her dad is Lenny Kravitz.
And her dad's cousin is Al Roker. That's right. Al Roker is related to Lenny Kravitz.
But whatever. I mean, this movie's coming together, and while I'm not for or against Jonah Hill being in this or not being in it, I'm never for celebrity stunt casting for the sake of celebrity stunt casting. So if you can find someone better to play the Penguin or cut the role altogether, whatever, go for it.
Make it happen.
I still think I have all the faith in the world for this movie.
That's what you
as
should.
of where we are now.
Yes.
Speaking of the Batman, Michael Giacchino has been tapped to do as the composer. Who, for me personally, is probably, aside from, like John Williams, who's doing his last Star Wars movie right now, probably my favorite working composer at the time. He's great. He did a bit of Rogue One stuff. I think I definitely first latched on to him when he was doing Lost, and his themes were just bananas. He's one of the best, if not the best working composer under the age of 70.
Yeah. No, he's very, very good.
He's great. I love his stuff. I'd listen to his... he's one of those guys you can just... Because, sometimes they're like soundtrack albums. You're like, yeah, great, super duper. But he's one of those guys you can just throw on one of his albums and just absorb just how insanely good his music is.
I'm trying to think of what else he did.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Star Trek, Coco, Incredibles 2, just some stuff he did. Jurassic World, again, following up for John Williams.
Oh,
like
yeah,
he's
there you
doing
go.
it again.
Coco was really, really good.
Coco is really good. Lost, Up, more Star Trek, Cloverfield, Ratatouille.
Doctor Strange.
He did work.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's really solid. But yeah, so that's just a solid get. The more this movie builds, the more I'm excited about it. Have you... I know the answer to this. The Lighthouse, a movie based in Maine starring Robert Pattinson.
No, I have not seen The
I know,
Lighthouse.
and neither have I. I'll check it out when it goes to Redbox or streaming or something. But he looks solid in that. I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. And if I'm looking forward to his performance in something small and something, locally based for us, I have no reason to think that he's not a good choice for Batman.
Yeah, he's not giving you... Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, he was in a sparkly vampire movie 10 years ago. I don't care.
No.
Those movies are shit. He knows they're shit. We all know they're shit.
I mean, think about all the bad movies that good actors have been in at some point.
And every time there's Batman casting, I have to be reminded that Mr. Mom was a movie. I've never seen it, but boy, have I heard about it a lot for 30 years.
Also, don't stop or when Mom will shoot with...
Yeah, it was Stallone.
Yes.
Where Schwarzenegger tricked him into taking it because... I guess, Schwarzenegger was like, oh, yeah, I'm really interested in this. And Stallone's like, well, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he got trapped, yes. Yeah, one of those deals.
Remember, Over the Top is a movie as well.
Over the Top is a movie, unfortunately. Hey, you know who hates Marvel movies?
Oh, the list is growing. It's like Scorsese and...
Coppola, Francis Ford
Oh,
Coppola.
he just piled on.
Director of Godfather 3.
Wow, speaking of movies that were a thing.
Cousin the movie.
That's not what it was called.
I thought it was.
So you're wrong.
I've ragged on that movie
Maybe
so many times.
Maybe it's, a mafia thing.
But, yeah, so he called Marvel movies disgraceful. But you know what? Here's my take.
Yeah?
Well, because he said something bad about a thing that I like, I now think that all his things are terrible.
What?
Or I took a rational response and said, he's 80. He doesn't have to like everything. I don't have to like everything. I like the majority of the work he's produced. I've enjoyed the majority of the Marvel movies.
You like what you like.
And that's fine. And it doesn't matter. And other people's opinions don't really affect mine.
Breathe. Relax.
Sorry.
Calm down.
It's just mostly clickbait at this point. Like, people are just asking, filmmakers, what do you think of Marvel movies?
Yeah,
just for the clicks. It doesn't matter. Enjoy it, you enjoy it.
It's like asking, a fine art collector, what do you think of a Bob Ross painting? Bob Ross paintings are fine. They're not for everybody, but they're still paintings. They're still good. To each their own.
Yeah, the only phrase is it's not cinema. Like, yes, it is. It just might not be cinema you enjoy.
How is it not cinema, though? I want to know the rationale for saying it's not cinema.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't get upset about other people's opinions.
Correct. Don't let the man get you down.
I like Coppola movies.
Me too.
I like Marvel movies.
He did The Outsiders.
I don't like Godfather 3, and I don't like all the Marvel movies.
There you go. Don't complicate the deal. It is what it is.
I love the smell of controversy in the morning.
Just when you thought you were out, they pulled you back in.
All right, a little bit of comics news. I guess it's time we were gabbing about Bendis.
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, this segment came back.
Holy cow.
Here's the thing he's doing.
Throwback Wednesday.
Bendis has been on Superman for a while.
Yes.
And part of what he's done, he totally revamped what destroyed Krypton.
What destroyed Krypton?
Some douchebag.
Internet clickbait.
Rogolzar or something. But he will be revealing Clark Kent's identity to the world.
Well, that's a kind of a dink move.
Yeah, and he says it's 100% real. It's not a fake out. We've had that before, like Spider-Man, where he revealed himself, but then, a year, I guess a little more than a year later, they walked it back. But yeah, he says it's real, revealing Superman's identity.
Well, sure.
I guess I'm kind of against it. Isn't that the whole thing of Superman supposed to be he gets his connection to the world by being a part of it?
Yeah, and just being the unassuming boy from Corn Belt America.
And I like his connection to other characters. I like Perry White and Jimmy Olsen or Cat Grant, or like you said, his parents. Like, he has real world connections. Blanking on the name of the guy that runs the bar. You know what I'm talking
Sam.
about. It's not Cheers.
Oh, sorry.
Sam Malone.
Yes, him.
I don't know.
Norm.
We'll see how this goes. It's certainly a status quo change, but I'm not for status quo changes just for the sake of that. I don't know. I feel like we have staples of what Superman is, and this is a bigger change than what destroyed Krypton, because in the world, Krypton was always destroyed.
Yeah, because they screwed it up. They overdid its resources, destroyed the core of the planet.
We'll see, but from there, we are going to move on from comics news to comics history. And this week, in the last 2 weeks of comics history,
Superhero landing coming up.
This week in comics history.
Why the last 2 weeks?
because we didn't do it last week.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of history.
All right, let's do some first appearances. Knock those out of the way. First off, one of my favorite all-time villains. We've talked about him many times on the show. Pace Pot Pete first appeared in Strange Tales number 104 in 1962. Robbing a bank, slapping some guards up with his bucket of glue.
I have no words.
You know him. You've read about him.
I don't share a birthday with him, thank God.
This is one of my favorites. Power Girl first appeared in All-Star Comics number 58 in 1975.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
She is a alternate universe Supergirl, except she has, how do I put this appropriately, boobs twice the size and cleavage that could snap your neck.
Power Girl.
Literally, she has a full white costume where there's just literally a full boob window.
Well,
and you've had comics creators try and say, like, well, the reason that's there is because she doesn't have a signal for her house, that she's a character without a connection to her past. Like, no, it's just there for the boobs.
Oh, she's got a signal for her house.
Yeah, just call it for what it is and don't try and, wimp your way out of this one.
Yes, agreed.
Darkseid, who we will be seeing in an upcoming New Gods movie, first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 134 in 1970 by Jack Kirby. What a not super title to appear in.
Huh.
The biggest DC villain first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. The Invaders, the World War II fighters that you've all been reading about since World War II, first appeared in, whoopsie daisy, Avengers number 71 in 1969.
Really?
Because that team has always been touted as they were the World War II team. And I know that we've dealt with earlier teams before this, but I had no idea that the Invaders first appeared in the 70s versus in World War II when they were supposed to be a thing.
And
So that was a surprise for me.
See, you learn something every day.
I did.
I'm proud of you.
I learned things at the show. Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost first appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 129 in 1979 towards the early parts of the Dark Phoenix saga. But still, two big X-Men characters, one issue.
Bang, bang.
Wally West first appeared in The Flash number 110 in 1959, first being Kid Flash, then The Flash, and then disappearing for like 6 years, and then being A Flash.
Flizzity Flash.
More comic stuff. Days of Future Past. One of the most famous X-Men stories started in Uncanny X-Men number 141 in 1980. Oh man, what an all-time seminal great story. You want to know how many issues this sucker went for?
Tell me.
I was going to try and get you to guess, but the answer is 2.
Oh, that was 2.
This is one of those things before you were writing for trade where you would have to like milk something out to 5 or 6 issues. One of the most famous X-Men stories, like 2 issues.
2 issues.
That's all we need.
Yeah, you know what?
That's the story.
Get in and get out.
It's not a bad model to have. Superman married Lois Lane this week in 1996 in the Superman wedding special. I think we did the episode on that.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, 96. That's when that happened. Captain Marvel, not to be confused with Captain Marvel, first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 112 in 1967. Without him, do we get to Captain Marvel? I don't know, possibly.
This is more than likely. Shazam!
This week in 1939, Batman's origin was told for the very first time in Detective Comics number 33.
The String of Pearls.
And that was until Frank Miller.
Oh.
It has been told
Martha.
over again and over again.
Martha.
And over again. And oh my God, how many times do we have to do Batman's origin?
Martha.
I'm not going to say it.
Fine.
I know why you said that name.
Martha.
Ugh, God. An important part of history, but annoyingly repeated.
Yeah, we even got it in the Joker movie.
Even in the Joker movie.
Yep, you're right.
Couple of births this week, or the last 2 weeks. Joe Simon was born on October 11th in 1913, who's going to be best known for co-creating Captain America with Jack Kirby.
Huh.
He's a biggie, and I mean, he's one of, he's on your Mount Rushmore of comics creators, Joe Simon, but if you're going to get a guy who...
Superman.
Well...
Yeah.
Good segue.
Thank you.
Because Jerry Siegel, co-creator of Superman, was born on October 17th in 1914 in Cleveland, Ohio. Of course, one of the all-time great creators was deeply screwed contract-wise, but without him, we got nothing. I know I've said it before, I'll say it again. There was originally a pitch of the reign of the Superman, where Superman was an evil character, and it was rejected, and they threw him and his partner, Joe Shuster, threw all of those original comic art pages into a fireplace only for them to burn.
That's terrible.
And if you could imagine how much those would be worth now.
It's like burning money, baby.
That's burning a lot of money. Seven figures. Definitely 7-figure pages they were chucking.
Oh, maybe more than that.
I don't think you get up to 8.
Yeah, maybe 7.
They were definitely throwing away. They're just throwing 7-figure pages into the fire.
One at a time.
Oh, God. Horrible to think about.
How does that make you feel?
Like nothing I do will ever be 7 figures in a fireplace worthy.
Well, maybe. You never know.
Daredevil had possibly his biggest story of all time with Born Again, starting in Daredevil number 277 in 1985. Kingpin finds out Daredevil's secret identity. It's by Frank Miller. Blows up his law office. Tears down his life. Karen Page is a junkie. It's a whole sad thing. But, still one of the all-time great stories of all time. And finally, Thor the Dark World premiered this week in 2013. And hard stance, it's not as bad as people like to say it is.
I'm glad you're taking a hard stance on that.
I like it. There's some weird missteps in there, but for the most part, it's still pretty solid. That's one of my favorite shots of Thor of all time, when he jumps off the balcony and he catches Mjolnir, it kind of twists him around. I love Tom Hiddleston in that movie. The ending is pretty weak. I'm with you there, but
yeah,
Acts 1 and 2 are pretty good. That opening is solid as hell when they're just fighting on planets trying to bring peace. The first 2/3 of that movie are really good.
It's just the end doesn't...
Yeah, it kind of falls apart once they go to England, and there's all that stuff with, like, Darcy's assistant.
Yeah. Who cares?
And yes, Malekith is a totally underdeveloped villain. But yeah. People like to be like, all the Marvel movies are good except Thor the Dark World. I'm like, that's not true. All the movies are good except for The Incredible Hulk, which is a terrible movie.
It's not good.
It has no point.
There you go.
They're like, how do I solve turning into the Hulk? They're like, well, we can stop it for 10 minutes once this one time, and then that's the end of it. Don't worry about it.
But we're going to have your blood get into somebody's soda.
If you're going to point fingers at a movie, point them at The Incredible Hulk.
All 5 fingers. Don't have any of them pointing back at you. Full hand point.
So from the Flash villain double down to touchdowns.
Ooh, that was an interesting one. I like that.
I'm actually out. I got to write more.
Oh, wow.
That was my last one.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go basketball related.
It's all I got. I got to do that this week. I got to
Oh,
write
yeah.
more. It's time for Jared's Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
All right, well, let's start with football. Some breaking Patriots news. Josh Gordon has been placed on the injured reserve list with a knee injury effectively ending his season, although he could be released and signed with another team as a free agent. But the Patriots made some roster moves, including trading a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu, a very, very good wide receiver for the Patriots, who are on pace for one of the best defenses in the history of the league. Their point differential right now is equivalent to the 1920 Buffalo All-Americans. They're plus 145.
That Jets game was sad.
Yeah, they really messed up Sam Darnold. He probably wishes he still had mono. Said no one ever.
That's why he was seeing ghosts.
No, he was just probably, he had been ghosted by the mono giver, and there you go. So there's that. The Patriots are rolling 7-0. Tremendous defense. Tom Brady is closing in on the all-time touchdown mark, so good for him.
Aaron Rodgers had a perfect passer rating this week.
He did.
Have your opinions of the Super Bowl changed? Keeping in mind, I don't remember what your predictions were.
I said it was going to be Saints-Patriots, and the Saints continue to win even without Drew Brees, so I'm still thinking the Patriots are probably going to come out of the AFC. Patrick Mahomes is out with a dislocated kneecap for a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, that was nasty. I saw that.
Yeah, it was not. I've seen one in person.
Sure you have.
Not pleasant to look at, I will tell you that. So, no, I still think Patriots, Saints. Patriots, Packers, possibly. I don't know. But I think the Patriots are playing unbelievable defense. They lead the league in interceptions, turnovers created, yards allowed, points allowed. It's ridiculous.
Have they played a difficult game this season so far?
No, not really.
Someone has to actually be a challenge at some point in the season.
Well, they got the Browns coming up this week, and the Browns were a sexy pick for playoff contender, possible Super Bowl appearance, but who knows? Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Bill Belichick could get career win 300 against the Browns, which is where he had his first head coaching gig. So there you go. It'd be a nice little piece of history to wrap it up and tie the bow on it, at least for 300.
Yeah. I think he's probably pretty set in the history books.
Yes, but 300 wins as an NFL head coach is pretty impressive, considering the maximum amount of games in any given year is, 19 or 20? So that's a lot of wins.
Yes,
especially
he's done well.
Especially for having a bunch of losing seasons early in New England. Oh, I think he had one losing season in New England and several at Cleveland. So, without a doubt, greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure that's how people look at it. Baseball playoffs are happening.
The World Series.
I know nothing about them.
Yeah, the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals are in the World Series. The first game of the World Series, the lowest rated opening to a World Series in like the last 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Hockey going well. The Bruins are playing excellent hockey.
Yeah, they just lost their first game. Did they lose last night?
I think they have a couple of losses, but Pasternak
they lost their second to last game, I know.
Yeah. They have one or two losses, but they're scoring goals. They're looking good. I love it. And finally, we can come around now. Zach, it's the return of the NBA. What do you think?
Yeah. All right, let's start off with the season opening game. Zion Williamson out for 6 to 8 weeks. He was supposed to be part of the first game to kick off the season. Could not play because he's getting his meniscus removed.
Or repaired.
No, removed.
Wow. That's going to shorten his career by a lot.
There is speculation that maybe his weight is an issue. He's coming in at 285, I think.
That's a big boy.
But I mean,
that's a man's man.
There's not a ton of fat on him. Like he's thick as can be. So that was kind of a downside for the season opener, Raptors versus Pelicans, but the Pelicans don't literally have the thing that everyone was there to see. Raptors don't have Kawhi, but Raptors did pull it off looking like a playoff level team.
On ring night.
Yes, they got their rings. Second game of the night, which is probably going to be the Western Conference finals that we're looking at. Clippers versus Lakers. Clippers took it away. And then tonight, the night we're recording this, we're doing it a day late because Jared was doing a work thing yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying.
Throw me under the bus for having a job.
Well, we couldn't have done it on Monday night because the Patriots were playing.
That's true.
But yeah, most of the NBA kicks off tonight.
Yes.
And I am ready to make my wild predictions, although they're honestly pretty tame.
Okay.
They are not out of the realm of what other people are saying.
I am ready.
I'm going to do top 3 for each division.
Top 3 is a lot. Give me who's going to be in the finals on each side. That's all I want.
I am not ready to say that yet.
You can't. You made me give you the Super Bowl prediction.
I'll give you them. So I'm going to say top 3 in the West.
No, I said give me the finals. I don't want top 3.
There.
Just give me the top 2. Who are the 2 that are going to be playing in the Eastern and Western Conference Final?
There. Top 3 in the West.
No.
Houston Rockets.
No.
Los Angeles Lakers and the Clippers. I think Clippers are going to go to the finals. There, you happy? Clippers going to the finals.
Okay.
Top 3 in the East. Celtics. I think Vegas and a lot of people are sleeping on the Celtics team, mostly because I think they're going to make a trade before the trade deadline.
That's a long ways away.
They're predicted at 48.5. Last year they were 49. I am going to say Celtics for 52.
Wow. Okay.
Because I think there's going to be a trade in there, and I think a trade will be able to push them over the line. But I think Celtics will be third. Milwaukee, I think, will be 2. I just don't think they have a deep enough bench. I think it's going to be Philly and Clippers.
Okay, and then who wins the series?
Clippers.
Clippers is a trendy pick. I like it.
Be their first time ever. Steve Ballmer is throwing money all around. I mean, they gave up a ton of stuff to get the team they have this year. This is a serious win right now kind of team.
Yeah, well, I mean, Celtics also threw a lot of money at Jaylen Brown.
They did. He got a 4-year rookie extension, 115 with provisions in there. He's guaranteed at least 103.
9 figures, baby.
Yeah, he's still made his money, but
he's got that Hulu Plus money.
He's still tradable. It's a good deal if he progresses in the way that people hope he'll progress.
Yes.
Which also kind of guarantees Tatum for the max next year when his contract's up. This year is kind of a weak year for free agency. Brown being one of the few picks in there, but now that's totally off the table.
Mm-hmm.
But also the idea of like trading a big is also kind of quickly shrinking. So hopefully they can make a move before the trade deadline.
That'd be nice. I would think they have plenty of time to consider their options.
But basically, it looks like the team is going to be built around Walker, Tatum, and Brown. Hayward is questionable if he picks up his player option. I imagine he will, unless he totally blows up this year. Just because he's been such a weak commodity the last 2 years for the injury.
He's got to reinvigorate his value for certain. He's got a lot to play for.
I bet he's going to pick up his player option.
Yeah, it might be his only option.
Yeah, I think player option might be his best chance for the most money. But if he doesn't,
yeah.
I mean, and he looked good in the preseason, so we'll see because the real season kicks off tonight. Yeah, I don't think Celtics are going to they might make it to the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're not making it to the finals.
Well, there you go.
But I think 48.5 is low. I think they'll get to 52.
All right. There's Zach's NBA predictions.
There we are. I've sat on those for like a month.
You've sat on those for 3 months. You had those predictions as soon as the Celtics season was over.
I didn't, not until the trades happened.
You're scary. All right. That's it for sports reports.
So from there, we're moving on as it's the Halloween season to one more. I guess we have 2 more in total. Another spooky tale of the season. We're going with Redlands.
It's Jared's
Training corner.
Still a relatively new book, Redlands. I'm going to be very upfront about this. The reason I wanted to do this book is because of the writer, Jordi Belair.
Okay.
She is primarily known as a colorist, one of the best out there. She has just done the cream of the crop books in the last few years. I would say within the last 3 years, probably the most prolific colorist out there. But then she started writing, and she started with this book, Redlands. And the reason that this kind of, tweaked my attention, why I wanted to do it, is she is the current writer of the Buffy series.
Ah.
And I thought, I'd like to check out that other thing she wrote. And then I thought, I'll save that for a Halloween episode.
And it makes sense that you did.
And here we are. Because, we're talking Redlands, written by Jordi Belair and Vanessa Del Rey with Clayton Cowles. Oh, man, this is a book.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Do you like uncomfortable subjects?
Because this book has them.
Do you like... sorry, I shouldn't say do you like racism, because don't.
Yeah.
But this book has racism, sexism,
corrupt police,
incest,
rape.
Yeah, this book doesn't shy away from a single thing, and especially for a writer tackling their very first book, I don't think you could ever, if I had told you this was a writer doing their first kind of writing gig, would you have ever known?
No, these are bold choices made in here.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on. It's all about these 3 sisters that are witches.
That apparently have been around for a very, very, very long time.
Salem times.
Yeah.
The 80s. Sometimes they have sex together.
The 1680s. The feast, yes.
Yeah, don't... That was a weird moment, but I was like, okay, great. That's a choice we made.
Yeah, like she saved the young girl only to have her sacrificed and roll around in her blood while naked.
Yeah, this is a book about witches, essentially, but they're also working for a police force, and they're trying to take over a town from misogyny, and they're trying to survive their immortal lives, and there's a lot going on here. And this is one of the things I love about reading a book like this, is I love kind of being on the ground floor for a new lore. The floor lore.
Ooh, there you go.
But I love learning the rules of something like this because they've been so clearly meticulously planned, and there is definitely a ton of stuff happening that I love seeing a mythology build. And it's clear, I mean, there's horrific stuff in here. I mean, we get, child sacrifices, a guy getting his dick bit off.
By a dog.
It's a very hungry
Alligators.
dog. Alligators ripping people apart.
Racism.
Yeah, we said that
A
one.
guy cutting his nose off, pouring gasoline on himself, and lighting himself on fire.
Those are things that happen.
Yes. What else uncomfortable happened? People having sex on cars.
What was really weird about that one for me, I'm like, that was twice in one issue.
Yeah.
Like, break it up a little bit. That was. Did you need to do it twice in one
Space
issue?
it out. You know what this kind of felt like to me a little bit? I've only watched some spot episodes of it, but it kind of had an American horror story feel.
Car with, pretty high suspension.
Yeah, the guy would.
Or very short people.
The one guy who was, pleasing his girlfriend, then put her in the trunk of the car. No, it kind of does kind of feel like American Horror Story a little bit.
I've never seen it. There's a couple of Stephen King references in here between Salem's Lot and the 1990s It movie. They explicitly show both of those things. One thing I was thinking when I was looking at that Salem's Lot book, what printing is that? That thing is a tome. It's like 1.5 feet tall.
Yeah, that's massive.
A big-ass book. When I read that book, it was a paperback. I could, slip it in my butt pocket. Big book.
Massive.
Yeah, I don't know if that printing exists. Also, good
It'd be
book.
cool if it did.
And if you want to read the sequel to Salem's Lot, it's secretly hidden in one of the Dark Tower books.
Oh, there you go. Not so secret anymore because you just outed it.
That's because they go into this cave and they're with the main character from Salem's Lot, and they come across the book Salem's Lot. He's like, "What the hell?"
Is it like Zork?
I don't know what you meant there, but
if you know what Zork is, you know what Zork is.
Great. But yeah, he's just like, I'm not a book. And then like half the book commits itself to being a Salem's Lot sequel out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Dark Tower.
Get your shine on.
There is shit in that.
Yes.
Because I don't want to get sued.
Oh, what? You don't want to get sued?
I was going to go with the Simpsons Halloween.
Oh, okay. Treehouse of Horror is going to be coming out soon, isn't it?
Last week.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, I've never seen any of the ones that was parodied.
Huh.
They start with The Omen. I've never seen The Omen. I know that one's kind of the more shocking one. They did Stranger Things. I've never seen Stranger Things. The one in the middle, I didn't know what they were doing, and I forget the other one, but I hadn't seen it.
Well, there you go. I didn't get a chance to see Treehouse of Horror.
It was solid. I got some solid laughs in there, even though I wasn't
in on the jokes.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the source material. It is what it is. But yeah, no, the one where Bart has the Shining, but they have to call it the Shinin.
Oh,
because Will's like, "Shh, do you want to get sued?"
I love those jokes.
I'll use my shin.
The fourth wall jokes are the best jokes. So anyway, what's your verdict on this book? Because I don't want to give it away, because I think it's a fun is a loose term. I guess it was an interesting read. I'm kind of curious to see what continues to happen, because we only did the first 6.
What's kind of interesting about this one is because, we even brought this up earlier in the show, the idea of writing for trade. This one is not written for a trade. Like, there are 6 issues, but it's not an arc.
No, it's an ongoing world.
It's just buy the next one because this isn't the end of it. There's no closure on this at all. And I haven't read the additional ones, although I do have them for sale, graphic novel or otherwise. But I thought that was interesting that there was no attempt to be like, yeah, this is the first arc and you could read it and you could totally get an idea for this world. And here's a complete story. They're like, no, next.
Yeah.
I like that. I personally like that style of storytelling where they're not that concerned with it.
Yeah, it's a world and things are happening in that world.
I like the witches. I like the witch aspect of it. I don't think I like any of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I like the world, but I don't think I like the character. And they're well written characters, but I'm just saying, like, who am I rooting for? I'm like, I don't know.
Casper.
Let's see where this goes, because I have no race in this horse.
You mean you don't have no horse in this race?
No, I said what I said, and I stand by it.
Wow. Okay, that's a bold.
There's no race in that horse.
Way to turn a phrase. I would give it a thumbs up. I give it a read, but I would also say it's rated M, and for good reason. Lots of nudity, graphic violence, and some heavy subject matter, but certainly worth a check.
So, as we've been doing all this month on a scale of Halloweeniness, again, this is not a scale of quality. This is a scale of how much do you want to read this on Halloween. I am going to give this 7 bitten dicks off.
That sounds terrible.
Because it does deal with subject matters like witches and demons and curses, which are all very Halloween-y.
And the occult.
It doesn't fully go like this takes place on Halloween, though, so it loses Halloweeniness points. Again, not quality points. So I'm going to give it 7 bitten dicks off.
I'm going to give it 6.5 broomsticks for Halloweeniness.
You wanted to take a different scale?
Yes. But for quality, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, it's solid. I like it a lot, and it's also, I don't think I really gave the dialogue enough praise. It sounds like, obviously it's, supernatural and things that you would never actually talk about, but it sounds like actual people talking.
Could be a good Netflix series.
Totally. The people, they sound like people. They have conversations that don't sound weird and stilted.
Yeah.
They sound like conversations.
I would say if you like American Horror Story, you'd like this.
Oh, that reminds me. Thanks for bringing me back to that. The thing that it kind of tonally reminded me of, although mine is not supernatural, I think it was the art and the tone reminded me a lot of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Never saw it, so.
Or it's kind of, that movie kind of has like this low budget lived in feel.
Yeah, it's a lived in world. It's not a brand new world.
It feels grimy and gritty, and it kind of reminded me of that. And I mean that in the best way possible. But I guess that's it from there. We're going to move on to your letters to the editors.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Talk to the audience. Oh, God, this is always death.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
If you want to reach us, and if you want to throw out something for next week for a Halloween question, please do.
Ghosts and goblins.
What's that from?
Oh, come on.
I can hear the inflection in my brain.
I'll give you a hint. This man also piloted the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, okay. Yep, we got there. Batman.
There you go.
Batman 89.
Yes. I win.
Good job.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you want to write us a question, editorsnotecomics@gmail.com. But this week's question...
G-Mizzle.
What superhero character should get a horror movie based around them? In parentheses, don't worry about New Mutants.
Well, we already have Brightburn.
Oh, I saw that this week. Didn't mention that.
How was it?
Fine.
Okay.
It's not great. It's not bad. It's totally fine. I think it drops the ball on the premise.
He kills a lot of people.
Not even that many people. My issue with it is it's, Superman, but what if he was evil? That's what the trailer sold us, which I think is more interesting. What the movie really is what if Superman was here and his ship made him evil because ship.
Oh.
I think it'd be more interesting if he just didn't care for humanity or something. But no, he's a totally normally well-adjusted kid, and then it's yeah, but subliminal messaging.
Oh.
I think it would have been more interesting if he
Winston.
If he had just turned without the external stimuli.
No.
So it's fine. There's some gross moments. Some of the deaths are hilarious. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So what superhero would you like to see turned into a horror? Like a scary?
Yes. A scary movie 1 through 5. Who's getting it?
Spider-Man would be an interesting one.
That was my answer.
Aha, I beat you to it.
I already had it prepped, so I guess it's cheating. But you go. You say why. You say why it's a Spider-Man.
Because I think you can, what if he decides that he wants to use his powers for bad and... maybe he becomes the killer spider, the Black Widow spider of Manhattan.
The world that already has a Black Widow.
Yeah, I guess
he has to kill Natasha.
Yes. No, I think it would be a logical, imagine if he had his powers, but he slowly became a spider, like the movie The Fly.
That is actually one of my answers you got there, because that is a thing that's happened.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Spider-Man, that's actually my exact example I was going to roll with. Good for you.
Woo!
You're a winner. Stop that. Yeah, there is a story where Spider-Man grows extra arms and turns into a literal spider, which you could do. You could 100% do a body horror movie a la The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum remake one, not the 1950s one. I've never seen the 50s one. I should get around to that. The 80s one is great, though. Watch that.
I just shocked the hell out of you, didn't I?
It's peak Goldblum sexiness, but then they make
he snaps the man's arm in half.
He's got abs.
What's happening to me?
Got some solid abs in that movie.
Me too.
But I think other ways to go with the Spider-Man thing is you have a couple of monster options. I know that Sony's already doing this, and who cares? But the Jared Leto Morbius movie, there's a vampire movie right there. You got Spider-Man against a vampire, or you got son of Jonah Jameson, John Jameson, who becomes a werewolf because of a space gem.
Yes, we did do that one.
But you have a werewolf story right there. That's a good horror one.
Yeah.
Or
he lends himself to it.
Or you could go
Spider-Man.
with probably the most famous Spider-Man story of all time, Kraven's Last Hunt, which is Kraven hunting, the most dangerous game, Spider-Man. He shoots him, buries him in his own grave. There's some weird demons underneath the city. I forget what the guy's name is. Some gross mutiny thing. But I think there's a very easy way to take that story and just turn it on its head a hair. you could do almost a haunted house movie of Kraven hunting Spider-Man, or him rising from the dead kind of thing, or what he finds in the underground. There's all kinds of ways you could just twist that story.
Or like
just a hair, and you could make that a terrible horror movie.
Or some of the Venom stuff too, like with the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of.
Yeah, you could use that too. That could totally work. Or Jekyll, as we've discussed.
What?
We talked about that, I think, last week or maybe the week before. The very first talkie to do that movie, it's pronounced Jekyll.
Oh, well, whatever.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
All right, I'll get right on that.
It is a good movie.
I did watch parts of Nosferatu the other day.
That's also solid. That's in public domain, so that's real easy to find.
Yes. There's no talking in it, just reading.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
I love when he turns into a puff of smoke at the end.
Nosferatu, the very first Dracula movie, except the studio was asking Bram Stoker's widow for the rights to Dracula. She said no, so they said, great, his name is Orlok.
Yeah.
But it's just Dracula.
Yes.
But his name's Orlok. And depending on the print you find, sometimes it just says Dracula.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that thing's old as hell. That thing's in public domain.
Yes.
I think that's everything.
I think that is. If you like the show, go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this show a whole day early when I don't have work things. And you can also get...
It's still a day early.
Technically, yeah, it is still a day early on time. It's like paying me tomorrow for a hamburger today. So anyway, you can also get that plus spoiler and spoiler-free reviews of the new releases of Buffy, Firefly, and Angel. And you also get...
big-ass crossover happening right now.
Oh, there you go. So you get a big-ass crossover and a spoiler-free review on Patreon exclusive stuff. Plus, you can visit Zach, 210 Water Street in Holloway. He's online at editorsnotecomics.com.
Oh, this Saturday, Halloween Comics Fest. Free stuff given away.
Oh, trinkets for the kids again?
Comics. I don't remember if I have any leftover
from
trinkets.
3 years ago.
I still might, to be honest.
There you go.
But at least comics are being given away.
Are you dressing in costume?
Never.
Why not? You love Halloween.
I do love Halloween. I'm just not big into costumes.
You should dress up.
No, it's okay. I'll give away stuff, though. This weekend, Halloween Comics Fest.
All right, there you go. Halloween Comics Fest. Plus, you can also visit Zach on Sunday, the 20, right. Whatever the Sunday is.
Whatever the hell Sunday is.
Yeah,
Portland Comics Expo. I'll be there.
And that is at the Civic Center, the Cross Center. Where is it?
Where the Red Claws play.
Oh, the Expo.
The Expo.
There you go. Maybe Taco Fall will come visit you.
Taco Sunday.
Yes. And I also mentioned you have the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram.
And you're on Twitter and you have a podcast.
At Junior Rich. Yeah, the podcast is kind of in pause mode right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, we're both extremely busy. It's hard enough to do one a week for me right now, let alone two. We're getting there, though.
Editing it takes forever.
Yes, I know.
Do you? Are you really complaining to the right guy?
I should hire you to do it.
I do that.
I know you do. You want to pump your podcast editing business?
I guess. I'm cutting people's podcasts.
There you go. I forgot in Jared's Sports Reports. Big news from the world of disc golf. Sound Guy got a hole-in-one.
Oh, nice.
Yes, there you go. Congratulations, Sound Guy.
Right now you owe me a little bit more than what I charge for podcasts.
Me?
Yes.
What do you mean I owe you?
For multiple tickets I've bought for you in the future.
You bought me one ticket.
I bought you 2 tickets.
Oh, that's right. You did buy me 2 tickets. That's fair.
You're up to $55.
To Paradise?
No. You just owe me $55.
All right, I'll get right on that.
I wish you would. You say that flippantly.
Well, there you go.
I'd like the money. But we'll be back next week for our very last Halloween episode. How will Archie do against the Predator?
Oh, no. It's finally here. Stay spooky, Space Cats.
We'll be back.